ホワイトさんって知ってますか？
Thank you very much. That is a lot of religion out there. That's pretty good. We like that.
President Trump, we are so honored to have you join us in front of this very, very important faith summit. You are my friend, and I am so blessed to have been a part of your life. Some people don't know, for over 24 years. As a part of, I feel, not only family, but your pastor and an advisor. And I got to work in the White House and represent People of Faith as senior advisor to Faith Initiative and Opportunity. One of the greatest honors ever. We have thousands of pastors here and faith leaders, and their number one issue that they want to know about is, what about your faith? Let's talk about, how is faith formed in you, and what does it mean to you?
Well, thank you very much, Paula. And you have been. I've known you for a long time, and she's a great person, a great woman. And really, it's an honor. It's an honor.
ポーラホワイト牧師ってこんなにトランプ大統領となんか親しい関係の人なんですね。はい、今回も山根です。よろしくお願いします。いよいよ家庭連合の解散命令も現実的になってきました。政府による解散請求審理はクローズドでなされ、国民に内容は知らされません。ではなぜ公開されないか。それは結果ありきの政府による一宗教団体弾圧の審問がなされているからだと思っていて、推定有罪、すなわち被告が裁判で有罪と判決される前にすでに有罪と決められている裁判で、カルトや反社会的などの偏見や先入観がすでにあり、マインドコントロールが行われているなどといって公平な裁判が欠如しているからで、政府が証拠を十分に提出せずとも教団が反証を要求されています。また裁判の結果が出る前に信徒は社会的制裁を受け、すでに生活に悪影響を受けています。例えば山上被告による重大な事件が報道された時にメディアが偏った報道を行い、視聴者が家庭連合イコール有罪が確定しているかのように扱われました。そのため解散命令は当然と思わせているわけであって、個人の信教の自由は全く議論されません。そんな中で昨年12月8日の ICRF ジャパン東京大会で、アメリカの著名なキリスト教牧師でテレビ伝道師、またトランプ大統領の宗教顧問ポーラホワイト氏の特別メッセージが公開されました。旦那さんが1980年代に世界的に大人気となった、音楽バンドジャーニーのキーボード担当の、ジョナサン・ケイン氏、らしいんですけど、皆さん知ってますか？そのメッセージは僕たちには驚くべき内容だったんです。で、この報告書では安倍元首相銃撃事件以降、日本の統一教会が日本における不寛容、迫害、差別の犠牲者になっていると言っているんですね。メディアはネガティブなキャンペーンを行い、信者が攻撃、暴行、殺害予告を受けているとも伝えています。すごいですね。オールドメディアは一切伝えないですが。また旧統一教会が刑法に違反していないにもかかわらず、政府が宗教法人格を奪うために解散を請求したことはもう普通の海外の理解を超えていると、そういうふうに言っています。この映像からするとトランプ大統領の宗教顧問は公平に状況を理解していると言えます。
Dear distinguished leaders, I am Pastor Paula White, President of the National Faith Advisory Board in the United States and spiritual advisor to President-elect Donald J. Trump. I'm honored to speak to you today at the International Coalition for Religious Freedom. I want to greet all the leaders and citizens of Japan and thank you for your strong support for the United States-Japan Alliance for Peace. Japan and the United States are very close and most critical allies to ensure peace in Asia and around the world. As you know, President Donald J. Trump was elected to a second term on November 5, 2024. He is the strongest advocate of religious freedom and will increase his unwavering support for religious freedom for all faiths and all people. President Trump was very close with Prime Minister Abe, who was the most courageous leader who strongly led Japan against tyranny in the world. We mourn his loss. Religious freedom is the foundation for all other freedoms. Japan is the United States' great ally, who we have the greatest appreciation for. However, concern has now been raised by prominent leaders around the world that believe Japan is not upholding its religious freedom commitment as a signer of the UN Human Rights Declaration. The United States State Department Office of International Religious Freedom, in its 2022 and 23 reports, showed serious questions that Japan, as a prominent world leader and great liberal democracy, is now violating religious freedom. Ambassador Rashad Hussain, the current U.S. State Department's ambassador at large in the Office of International Religious Freedom, noted concern about Japan in the Japan section of his 22 and 23 report. The report in 2022 stated that CAPLC, a Paris-based United Nations NGO, submitted a series of statements to the UN Human Rights Committee that said that the Unification Church in Japan had become a victim of a campaign of intolerance, discrimination, and persecution in Japan since Prime Minister Abe's assassination. The church stated its members suffered attacks, assaults, and death threats as a result of negative media attention. The 2023 report stated that Japan deviated from the norm when it decided to dissolve the Unification Church without any criminal law being broken by the church. This year, on April 30th, 24, the United Nations issued a UN mandate through its rapporteurs on religious freedom and human rights, calling into question Japan's compliance with the UN Human Rights Declaration and the International Covenant on Civil Political Rights, to which Japan is a signer. The UN Rapporteur on Religious Freedom made a formal request to the Japanese government to visit Japan to investigate the possible violations of religious freedom against minority religions, but the nation of Japan has denied her request. This rejection of her request is listed on the United Nations website. This is raising serious concern throughout the world about religious freedom in Japan. We in the United States are concerned that the media and some in the government and the Ministry of Justice are suppressing information and not allowing the public to know about the facts. Letters were sent to Prime Minister Kishida, the foreign minister, and the court from current U.S. congressmen, former heads of state, and the former U.S. Secretary of State, as well as the former U.S. Speaker of the House. The former U.S. Secretary of State said that this could have severe implications for our vital partnership and global perception of Japan's commitment to human rights. Religious freedom scholars and experts around the world are calling on Japan to stop the violation of the Jehovah's Witness and the Family Federation, Unification Church. As faith leaders and religious freedom experts, we urge our great ally in Japan to uphold religious freedom for all. May God abundantly bless Japan and the United States, Japan Alliance for Freedom throughout the world. Be blessed.